What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your daily news report for Thursday, September 22nd. Here's what I can tell you right now. We have 8 days before a potential government shutdown. That is it, 8 days. We need to see Congress come together and pass something. As of right now, they have nothing. Now, yes, they are talking about different ideas and proposals and putting the government funding bill together. The problem is a lot of it hinges on Senator Joe Manchin and Democrats. What are they actually going to do? Well, we're going to find out very soon. But we're going to actually address that in today's video. We're also going to talk about another thing, and that is something that is really going to hurt the U.S. economy, and that is our national deficit. Now, yesterday we talked about the Federal Reserve raising rates. And I talked about how this is going to hurt people that are trying to go and get a mortgage, people that have credit card debt. If you're going to look to buy a new car, it's going to impact you. However, it's also going to impact our national deficit. And I want to explain how much this is going to impact us. Also, at the end of this video, I want to give you an announcement that's actually coming from Walmart. Because Walmart's actually going to increase sales. They're going to increase their items that they're putting up for sale. So you're not just going to see a quick little 10% markdown. You might see something like 20, 30, 50, maybe even 75% coming very soon. And I want to explain why that is. So that's what we're going to discuss in today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. So let's get right down to it. Here's what we know. The Federal Reserve raised rates by 75 basis points. They did this yesterday. Now, this takes the federal funds rate to 3 to 3.25%. Now, even though I already talked about this yesterday, talked about this increase, I didn't tell you some other things that happened. And that is, what does this do to the United States national deficit? Because I addressed this a couple months back, saying that if we get the federal funds rate to 5, 6, 7%, that's going to cause so much issues for the United States, because the payment alone on that debt is going to be so massive it would actually exceed our GDP. So again, that's the problem. Now, according to the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, they estimate that the 75 basis point rate hike that was added yesterday, this is going to add roughly $2.1 trillion to our national deficit over the next 10 years. Again, keep that in mind, over the next 10 years. The problem is we are already sitting just about at $31 trillion in debt. And not only that, but this current 75 basis point rate hike, this is just the current one. The Federal Reserve is not done yet, and they say they have plans of raising rates by another 125 basis points over the next 3 months. This means it will be 75 basis points likely in November, and another 50 basis point rate hike in December. Now, estimates as of right now say that the payments alone will go from nearly $400 billion. That is for fiscal year 2022. Okay, that's this year. They will jump to a whopping $1.2 trillion in 2032. That's just the interest payments alone. $1.2 trillion. Yeah. And that isn't even factoring in another 125 basis points. And if we go up even further than that, because we don't see inflation coming back down, that's where it's really going to hurt. Now, even though the Federal Reserve raising rates is seen as a major problem for our national deficit, it's also seen as a needed response to try to bring down inflation. The only problem is that policymakers right now are attempting to take action on certain things to slow down inflation themselves. And this is what we've seen, right? We've heard certain states try to pass bills that would eliminate the federal gas tax. We saw federal lawmakers try to, or well, not really try, they discussed it and then brushed it off, but eliminating the federal gas tax. Those two things would have brought down inflation. Now, these are, and again, a lot of people ask me, well, why doesn't the federal government just step in and do things? Well, the problem is they have to get enough votes. And in an election year, it makes it very difficult. So this is why some say the only option as of right now is to just wait, let's be patient, let the Federal Reserve do their job. The only issue is their job is likely to push the United States into a recession, which is going to mean, more layoffs, higher unemployment, less spending, right? Housing market's going to go down, stock market's going to go down. People are obviously going to, be hurting, and so that might be the only option. However, what we do know is that right now, lawmakers are struggling to get anything done. So, what's happening? Well, the Biden administration is doing whatever they can and trying to do things through executive order. For instance, the Biden administration recently has forgiven or plans on forgiving up to $10,000 in student loan debt. This is also estimated to cost upwards about $1 trillion, which is going to put more upward pressure on inflation. So again, even though lawmakers want to do something, they can't. So President Biden steps in and he does what he can do and what he promised, which again could be more issues down the road. So that's just one of the things that obviously we're worried about right now. But this also takes us into what's being discussed in Congress as of today, and that is the government funding bill. Because right now Congress has until the end of September, which just so happens to be 8 days away. They have 8 days to get a deal done on the government funding bill. However, the problem is they can't. Democrats, they have a plan to try to get a deal done, but they also want to include Senator Joe Manchin's permitting bill. This is something that Republicans say they can't agree on. And they don't want to pass anything, especially coming from Senator Joe Manchin, when Senator Joe Manchin was one of the ones that almost promised Republicans he was not going to go for the Inflation Reduction Act. But then he voted for it, it passed, and now Republicans are upset, saying they're not going to back him because he turned his back on them. They're pretty much going to do the exact same thing. So as of right now, there's two ways this could go. One, we could see a continuing resolution. Chances are we're not going to see the omnibus bill. Or the government's going to shut down temporarily while lawmakers hammer out the rest of the details. That's pretty much what we're looking at right now. So we're going to see, but what I can tell you is it's going to be an interesting next 8 days. And then after that, because my guess is they're going to agree on a continuing resolution. After that, I think that's when we really start to see some major changes. And again, it might come down to who wins the midterm elections. We might see lawmakers do a CR, continuing resolution, until for a few months, get it all the way into like January. Because if they do that, and if Democrats are to remain in control of the House and the Senate, well, Democrats are going to still have some power there, obviously. But if Republicans gain or get the majority in the House or the Senate, the issue for Democrats there is, well, they might have to go ahead and pass an omnibus bill. But in this bill, it might have reduced spending. So again, a little bit of a win for Republicans because Democrats would have lost their leverage. So we'll see what happens there. Now, let's talk about this announcement from Walmart. And this is not just an announcement from Walmart. This is coming from major retail stores. What we are hearing and have been hearing over the past couple of months is that retail stores are getting a lot of new inventory. Even though they've canceled billions of dollars in orders, they're still getting new inventory into their stores. And the reason for this is because there are container ships that are showing up almost out of nowhere. They're Connex boxes showing up that these stores don't realize that they were even coming. And it's because these ships are coming in, right? And they're bringing more boxes, more Connexes. And the issue is then wherever they're coming in, then they're getting shipped out, okay? They're getting transported to these different locations. Well, a lot of these stores, and I even talked to a Walmart night manager. I talked to a Walmart night manager very recently. She told me that her job was actually to find room inside the building to store more products. Yeah, just store more products inside the building. So they're going higher. They're putting products higher up. So you may walk through and it's going to look like a Costco because the products are being stacked. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing products just pallets sitting in the back of these stores. We're seeing some Walmarts in better locations where they're not worried about theft and they're not worried about weather. They're actually leaving some of the products outside. Barbecues, bikes, obviously pools, just bigger items. They're just leaving it outside. Now, when I asked why this was it just because they had so much excess inventory? Because that was the report that we've been seeing. Well, she said that corporate didn't want Connex boxes sitting at the stores any longer, and that all inventory should be set aside somewhere inside the building. Now, this was interesting about like Walmart. Walmart's one, Costco's another one. Who else? Home Depot, Lowe's. These stores don't have huge back rooms. They just don't. Right? You go into a Costco, you see the items are stacked. Right? The new pallets stacked. That's how they do it. It's inside. It's inside the big warehouse. That's the way they do it. Right? You go into Walmart. They do have a back room. It's small. You go to Home Depot. They don't really have a back room. Again, they stack products. That's what they do. So this is happening all over the place. Is that a lot of these corporate offices are not wanting to see the items sitting outside. They don't want to see the items that they have already paid for sitting in a Connex box where there is no way people are going to see them. Right? And this happens at Home Depot, Lowe's. We see it all the time. Now, with more and more inventory, with less space, with the holiday season upon us, I honestly think we better get ready for some incredible deals. I am already seeing many stores, Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy, right? Kohl's. I could go on and on, different stores. I'm already seeing 10, 20, even 30% off sales. But I've actually talked to a few employees from different retailers, and they are all telling me the same thing, that the sales are coming very soon. And they're saying this because many stores are actually offering something called a Friends and Family Discount Day. And let me just explain what this is, because, and I think JCPenney has always done this every single year for their employees, right around the holiday season. And what they do is they give it's a certain day, you come in, store is closed. Store is absolutely closed. Only people that are friends and family of the workers can come in. But you come in and they give you an extra 25% off or 50%. I don't remember. It's been a few years since I've gone to one of these, but that's what they do. You come in and they give you an additional discount on top of whatever discounts the store is already having. But what we're hearing now is there's more stores that are offering this friends and family discount. Okay? And the purpose behind it is to liquidate a lot of their inventory so they can bring in new stuff. But on top of that, and this is what this employee told me, is that, and I'm not going to say the store, because again, I don't know I know JCPenney does it. I know there's other stores that do it as well, but I don't know if it's something corporate has, said, okay, yeah, let's do that. So again, I'm not going to say the store, but what this employee told me is that the manager told her that they have to have this friends and family discount. They have to have it on this date because there's new inventory coming a week after that date, and they want to make sure that they are not giving discounts at that point. So the goal is to give huge discounts early. Then the inventory is going to go away. You're not going to see it because hopefully it's going to sell. And then they're going to bring in new inventory and not offer discounts. And that is supposed to happen. That new inventory has to be in by Thanksgiving. We're 2 months away? 2 months away from Thanksgiving? Yeah, that's why it has to happen soon. So here's my expectation. My expectation for 2022 is we're going to see a lot of deals. We're going to see stores offering 50%, 75%, right? I remember in Office Depot and Staples years ago, I'd go in, about this time of the year, and I'd see 80, 90% off deals. Yeah, that's how big it was. So if you're looking to buy something in the near future, you're looking to buy a Christmas present or just something for yourself that you've been waiting on, I think the deals are coming. So don't feel pressured if you see, oh, it's 10% off, I better get it before prices go up. I understand the thinking. However, I do think prices are going to come down. We may see inflation, hover around that, 8.5% range. Right now we're at 8.3, but my expectation is we're going to see prices come down in the near future. It may not happen all in 2022. It may take most of 2023, but I do expect we are going to see prices come down. So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on, share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.